What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my favorite prospects for the 2022 NFL Draft. So far, we're going to be going over each position, who my favorite player is there right now. So yeah, let's get into the video. At quarterback, we're going to have Malik Willis. And I didn't have him as my number one quarterback, and he didn't even go to like number 21 in my mock draft, but the more I've been looking at it, this guy is pretty freaking talented. My comp is Michael Vick, so that should tell you enough already. But while he is undersized, this guy is pretty decent at reading a defense. Pocket presence, very good. Arm, I mean, it's a cannon. Like, I'm talking maybe better than Josh Allen and Trey Lance's. Escapability, it's like Michael Vick. I mean, this guy looks like Michael Vick running out there. And that's an insanely good compliment to give any quarterback. Very good accuracy. Very talented athleticism. Malik Willis is a super good prospect. Now, it really does depend on how he plays this year because, it's Liberty. So at the end of the day, you're facing lesser competition. You're not, going to be playing great defenses and stuff. But he could move into that number one quarterback and maybe even number one overall pick role. He could be kind of like a Kyler Murray in this draft class, the small guy that maybe people don't think will go first, when you have guys like Kayvon Thibodeau and stuff, but he very well could. And so I really do like Malik Willis the more I've looked at him. So he's my favorite quarterback in the class right now. My favorite running back in the class is going to be Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. He was in my mock draft, gave him to the Dolphins. Reminds me a lot of Chris Carson, actually. Pretty explosive, nice elusiveness, got very nice vision and patience to his game. He does have that bruiser ability. He doesn't really excel at anything, but he is very solid all around. Not the best catching back or blocking back in the world, but he is very talented. He's probably not going to end up being a first rounder. I don't think any running back should end up being a first rounder this year, but he could sneak up into there. It really does depend on his year at Texas A&M, but he is my favorite running back in the class right now, though. My favorite wide receiver right now is going to be John Metchie III. I know this has been a very unpopular take since my first mock draft, but I do like John Metchie. He actually reminds me a lot of his former Alabama teammate, Jerry Jeudy. Similar size, but he's got really nice routes. He's a very explosive receiver. Hands, definitely something he needs to work on, yes. Apparently he had like a almost 10% drop rate, and that's not good. But if we fix that, that's great. Deep ball, it's not like he's not Devontae Smith. He's not Jalen Waddle. Blocking, he's fine. And he's not Jalen Waddle with the speed. But John Metchie is a great receiver. I mean, I think for the fact that he's been the number 5/number 3 receiver for the last 2 years, the kind of production that he's put up is actually pretty incredible. How does he handle being a number 1 receiver? We have yet to see. But I think personally he could have the best season out of any of these last 5 Alabama receivers, and that's considering the season that Devontae Smith just had. John Metchie has the tools. He has it all. Will he put it together, though? I think he will, and I really like him right now. So John Metchie is my favorite receiver prospect in this class. At tight end, we have Jalen Wydermyer, who probably is not going to be a first-round pick. There's probably no first-round tight ends this year, although I feel like we'll get to him later, but Jaleel Billingsley, I believe is how you say it, could come out. But very nice size, obviously, 6'5", 265. Reminds me a lot of Jared Cook. Routes, I mean, he's fine. He's not super explosive, and he's got decent hands. Definitely not a deep ball receiver, but blocking is very nice. And speed, not elite, but it's not bad. He's just kind of that middle-of-the-road receiver. Again, reminds me a lot of Jared Cook because he's a solid blocker, makes contributions in the pass game. He's a bit faster than Jared Cook, obviously a bit more athletic. But overall, I think, he's probably like a second rounder right now. But he could move up in the first, again, depending on how he plays this year. So, yeah, I have him here as my favorite tight end, but it could very easily be Billingsley by the end of the year. My favorite tackle in this class is going to be Evan Neal. And by the way, for some reason, there's a lot of Alabama and Texas A&M players on here. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Evan Neal, what a monster. 6'7", 359. My comp for him is Mekhi Becton. Insane power. Okay, this is something that I might have to explain to people, but insane power to his game. But he is not a strong guy, and his stance also sucks. Go watch him play in the championship, in the playoffs in general. When he was playing on the left side of the line, he was getting sat down like easily. Too many times did he just simply fall to the ground. He's got insane power in his game, but he actually just lacks core strength. He definitely needs to improve his stance. That would go a long way from helping him to stop getting sat down so much. Very athletic. Overall, he's much better run blocker than he is a pass blocker, but he can get much better. He can be kind of that breakout tackle this year. I have him as, I had him at number 5 in my draft, and he can be that good depending on how he plays. Now, if he does not play good at tackle because he's switching to left tackle, if he doesn't play well there, he's almost certainly a guard. But at that point, he can be a very good guard because, again, he's better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. That's what I like for my guards. So right now, Evan Neal is my favorite tackle prospect in the class. That can change to really any other people. I mean, this is a very undetermined tackle class, but I think he will end up being that dominant guy that he can be. My favorite inside offensive lineman in this class is Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. 6'3", 289. Reminds me a lot of Corey Linsley in the way they play and stuff. Decent power. I really love his stance. Actually, his technique is really good. He's got decent strength. His athleticism is off the charts. This is one thing I definitely got wrong on my mock draft, and Broshmo corrected me on this. He is a very athletic player. So that's great from him, obviously. Pretty good pass blocking, but also very, very good run blocking. So all around, Tyler Linderbaum is a very good, very solid prospect out of Iowa. Now the question is, how does he handle this new season? Because he is a pretty raw player overall. He's at times he's still definitely getting used to the position. I believe he did used to play defensive line, but I do really like that. He knows what it takes. He knows how to stop a pass rusher. He's got all the measurables. He's got the traits. Tyler Linderbaum could be that kind of, high guard pick this year, which is pretty rare, and I don't really like it most of the time, but Linderbaum is a pretty talented dude out of Iowa. Inside defensive line, we're going to have DeMarvin Leal. I'm counting him as inside defensive line right now because he plays a lot of defensive end, but really more comes off to me more as a defensive tackle. Almost 300 pounds, 6'4". He kind of has that build. Kind of reminds me a lot of Michael Brockers, but he's obviously smaller, so I call him a smaller Michael Brockers. He's got decent power. His arsenal could improve. He's not the best finesse pass rusher, but creating pressure, he's very good at. He finishes his plays and very good run defending as well. All across the board, he is a pretty talented player who could move up into that top 10, potentially even top 5 conversation, again, depending how he plays this year. That's pretty much how all the Texas A&M guys are this year, depending on how they play this year. But yeah, DeMarvin Leal, I do really like. I think he's pretty versatile when it comes to his play as well. If he lost some weight, honestly, he could switch to like a stand-up outside pass rusher. So pretty versatile. Really like DeMarvin Leal. So edge rusher, we have Kayvon Thibodeaux. I see a lot of people saying Thibodeaux, but it's like there's a TH, but okay. But I'll start saying Thibodeaux. Kayvon Thibodeaux, though, very good measurables. 6'5", 249. Reminds me a lot of Chase Young, and he's probably going to end up being like this class's Chase Young, Nick Bosa. Pretty good power. I love his arsenal of pass rush moves, and it feels like he's kind of still just adding to it. Very good finesse rusher and creates pressure like crazy. An amazing finisher. He will always finish his plays, and great run defending as well. I would really love to say a guy like Myjon Sanders or, Zach Harrison, but Kayvon Thibodeaux is easily the best edge rusher in this class. Has the potential to be the number 1 overall pick. If that's ever the case, you're obviously a very special talent, and I really like Kayvon Thibodeaux here. So, linebacker, we have Christian Harris. I got corrected by Broshmo because I was very wrong. I've cooled down on him a bit, but I still do think he is a fantastic linebacker. 6'2", 231, has really nice size, very, very athletic. Okay, very, very athletic, very good in the run defense, fine pass rush. All around, he's a really good linebacker, but he does suck in pass coverage. Like, he's pretty bad. So that obviously takes him down. But at the end of the day, this is a very weak linebacking class, and I still think he's easily the number 1. So I have him here as my favorite linebacker. That could change. Reminds me a lot of Nick Bolton just because, they both kind of suck in pass coverage, but are pretty good elsewhere. Except, it was actually really hard to come up with a comp for him because Nick Bolton is a lot better at run defense and he's not as bad at pass coverage. So this is kind of the best comp I could come up with, but it's not exactly a good one. So yeah, Christian Harris, a bit of an anomaly. If he can fix that pass coverage, he'll probably be a top 15, maybe even top 10 pick. But for right now, he is my favorite linebacker prospect, so I really like Christian Harris. Yet again, another Alabama player. Then at cornerback, pretty easily, once again, Derek Stingley. I mean, also kind of in that conversation to be the number 1 overall pick. You don't pick cover guys number 1 overall, though. That's just the thing. 6'1", 194, reminds me a lot of Darius Slay. Pass coverage, fantastic. He's easily the best man coverage corner in this class, and also fantastic zone coverage. He's not physical, but he does have good physicality, very athletic, and also very solid run defense. He's easily the number 1 corner in this class, a super, super, super talented guy. Ran into some injury issues last year, but I don't really think there are going to be anything coming into this year. So I really like Derek Stingley, and I really look forward to seeing him play this year, easily coming in at cornerback. And probably the easiest pick of the video. At safety, I have Kyle Hamilton. He is not 6'1", 194. He's 6'4", 218. Sorry, I didn't update that. But a safety at 6'4" and 218 pounds is amazing in pass coverage. Like a great man corner, or a great man safety, and a fantastic zone safety. Incredible physicality, great athleticism, and very good run defense. This guy hits hard. He's smart. Literally, when I was looking at this guy, the one thing I could nab him on was that every now and then he'll drop an easy interception, and sometimes he chooses wrong when deciding between the tight end and the running back. But he's a guy in college. You can easily improve that. He reminds me of Derwin James, but he's bigger, obviously. I'm in love with Kyle Hamilton, man. Like, I'm going to release a big board soon. Don't be surprised if this guy is number 1. He is big, he's fast, he's elite, he's smart, he has got it all. Kyle Hamilton is the all-around package. I think he can return to kind of that freshman form, and he wasn't even bad in his sophomore year, so I really, really do like Kyle Hamilton. And yeah, so moving into this, easily my favorite safety, maybe my favorite player in the class right now. And then moving on to a few other guys that didn't quite make the list, but I still do really like. Sam Howell has all the traits and stuff, but we really have to see how he handles, losing Amari Rodgers, Diami Brown, Daz Newsome, Michael Carter, and what's his name? Javonte Williams. Now he's getting the one running back, I forgot his name. It's something like Contarvius or something like that. But, we'll see how he handles no weapons. But I really do love Sam Howell. Reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, and I think he has a lot of the nice traits. He has the measurables. So I do like him. We'll have to see how he plays this year. David Bell, a guy that really got brought to my attention by Broshmo. Again, Broshmo being featured a lot in this video. He pretty much brought up the fact that if you like George Pickens, you should like David Bell. And I went and looked, and I really do like David Bell. Very talented receiver, great go up and get it guy. Actually has really nice speed, and just also has fantastic production as well, even with very poor quarterback play. So David Bell is one of those guys on my radar right now that I really do like, and I'm going to keep an eye on him. So yeah, David Bell. Tight end, we have Jaleel Billingsley. We already talked about him earlier, but I do think he could enjoy a breakout year. He has the athleticism and the ability to be a great tight end, and I think he might show that this year. So we'll see what he does, but I do like Billingsley. Tackle Kenyon Green, who's switching over to tackle. I liked him already a good bit at guard. Not as much as some other people, but at tackle, I think he could be pretty good there. He's really athletic and agile, so I think he could work out pretty well there. I'm going to keep my eye on him. Zach Harrison, very talented, very versatile edge rusher there from Ohio State. Can play defensive end, outside linebacker, 4-3-3-4. If he gained a bit of weight, could even play defensive tackle. So super versatile. Really love his play. And yeah, I'm also going to be keeping my eye on him. Myjai Sanders, I've liked him for a while now, but I think he could have his best season yet there at Cincinnati. In fact, I think Cincinnati could potentially be in the playoffs this year. I feel like, Ridder, Sauce, who we'll get to in a second, and Myjai Sanders could all enjoy really big years and boost their draft rankings up a lot. So another guy on my radar, Brenton Cox, I really love, again, the versatility on this guy. Reminds me a lot of Zaven Collins, and although I was not a big fan of Zaven Collins, I definitely love the ability of Brenton Cox a lot more. So we'll see where he goes. Sauce Gardner, yeah, I mean, I don't know why people are underrating this guy. Like, I thought he was a consensus, like, number 2 corner in football, maybe besides Ellie Ricks, and nobody thinks that. Most people have him as the number 4, number 5, or don't even have him there corner in this class, and I don't really understand it. He's got really nice size, very good ability. He's shut down and great physicality, and yet nobody really is paying attention to him. He is a fantastic corner. He's been great in his first 2 years, so I think he'll be a high pick. I really like Sauce Gardner. And then our last guy, Travius Hodges-Tomlinson. Yeah, I really love the ability on this guy. He's kind of one of those players I'll have to sit back and see what he does this year, but I think he could be a first-round pick depending on how he plays this year. He's got that athleticism he got from his father, so he's LaDainian Tomlinson's son. Or at least I'm pretty sure he is, unless I just got lied to. I'm pretty sure he's LaDainian Tomlinson's son. So regardless of that, he's very athletic. It does have that kind of big playability and has a lot of potential, but we'll have to see where it goes. But those are my favorite players in the 2022 NFL draft so far. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Tell me who your favorite prospects are in next year's draft class. If you did like the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.